I remember you talking about being lovable.
Course in
Like,
Miracles.
That's probably why most people are the way they are, because they feel like they're not lovable.
That's right. You are lovable. The confusion is the you, not the lovable. Definitely lovable, but what is you? Who are you? That is the question. All right, we're in Text Still, Chapter 1, 34. Miracles restore the mind to its fullness. By atoning for lack, they establish perfect protection. The Spirit's strength leaves no room for intrusion. Now, what are the things that need protection? Well, the body sure needs protection. So, restoring who you are in the mind and what is real includes realizing that you're not the body. The personality, well, shoot, that seems to be offended and hurt all the time. So you're not that. And so it's a restoration, the mind to the fullness. And so I think it's kind of like zooming out in my mind. If you zoom in too far, which, to use that astrology example, you have the universe has zoomed in and had this super zoomed in microscopic view of itself as this expression of who we are. And now we have these particular attributes. And from this angle, at this time, boom, that's what it looks like. If you zoom in really close and you have infinite blinders, then you're Layla or you're Javon, But you're really not you, because all you're doing is looking through a tiny microscope with blinders on every direction, so you can only see in this particular way. But if you restore the mind to its fullness, you take off the blinders and you start like looking wider, like, wow, what else is out there? Oh, wow, I can see I have more vision to the left and to the right. Oh, I have more vision up and down. Well, I have more vision with further depth on every direction. And you keep on zooming out and expanding your vision, you realize that this tiny sliver of expression that you thought was all of you is nothing in comparison with the full version of you. And then it makes it not a big deal. It's like, it's not a big deal. You're 13 years old. It's such a big deal for the boy to call or whatever, right? After a lifetime of experiences, you think back, you're like, oh, it's so cute that I thought that was so important. Oh man, to have such a simple life. You think back on the tininess of your life. Well, same with us right now. 35. Miracles are expressions of love, but they may not always have observable effects. And that's just pointing to when we release our judgments and we see people as whole, or we see spirit instead of the personality, or instead of the body, instead of separation, and we realize all we're seeing is judgment. All I'm seeing is the past, and all I'm planning for is a future that doesn't exist. And I have at least that awareness. It's doing things. It's doing incredible things, but the effect that I'm looking for, which would be magic oftentimes, I want that changed, may not be happening, but it is doing things. And in fact, the Course says it's saving thousands, if not millions of years of playing this game, often painfully. 36. Miracles are examples of right thinking, aligning your perceptions with truth as God created it. And I like how the Course just calls all this a correction it calls it a correction, basically, instead of sin. Because sin has the connotation of you're bad and it's bad, and then this is good. And this is just like, oh no, you just thought this was it, and it's not. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, redo, correction. Or you can keep playing it that way.
Yeah.
You can keep playing it that way. And you can play it that way with awareness of what it is. And that's actually a really good way to play life. the spiritual, I forget the guy. It was like this spiritual guru guy, and he was on Rodeo Drive, and he had bought like a $5,000 boots or something. He'd walk with these fancy boots, and he's like a monk guy, you know. They're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm playing the game." And in fact, a lot of the gurus, they'll say that you have to take on a portion of karma, or you have to take on a portion of the game that we're playing, the separation game, in order to stay in it. Because if you fully release it, then you're not here. You move on, and whatever that looks like to the rest of us, I don't know. Like, oh my gosh, they died. It's so horrible. Or maybe you just never were, right? You just out of the script entirely, because the script writer has changed it. And that's kind of a wild thought, to think that someone just can be taken out of the script and they just never were. And it's possible, because there's only one scriptwriter that has written Layla, and has written Javon, and has written Sue, and that one is me. So if Layla ceased to exist, it's not like, oh my gosh, what would it be like to cease to exist? Annihilation, right? The most terrifying thing that could ever happen, annihilation. And that would be terrifying if it was possible. But you are the one writing the script of Layla, and I am the one writing the script of Javon. And the real Sue is the one writing the script of Sue. And so if that one erased it, I'd be like, I want to do something a little different here. Then you're still perfectly whole, and not one beat of the song of heaven has been missed. 37. A miracle is a correction introduced into false thinking by me. So a definition of a miracle is just right thinking. And you can tell if you're right thinking or not by your resonance, and then you can tell your resonance by your feelings, which are just indicators. Mm-hmm. All that stuff works together. So right thinking, correction in false thinking. It acts as a catalyst, breaking up erroneous perception and reorganizing it properly. This places you under the atonement principle, where perception is healed. And remember, atonement is the realization that you are already that. You are already home. The work is already done. We're living in this idea of separation, and the idea never happened. Until this has occurred, knowledge of the divine order is impossible. The reason it's impossible is because if you don't realize that, then you're trying to engage in magic. Is Sue still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's okay. The divine order does not mean like just where.
Well, divine order is like how's it supposed to be? Like, what's supposed to happen? What's the right thing? What's the good thing? Who am I supposed to be? Why am I not this? Why aren't I that? You know, like that kind of thing is what we try to be like. I want it my order. Well, what's the divine order? Well, the divine order is what is. How do I know what should be? It's what's happening. What's my destiny? My destiny is what's happening.
The thing where, like, you were saying you can't explain it. You just have to. It just has to. You just have to be it. When you're it, that's when it's explained.
Right, because the divine order is atonement. Atonement is the is the revelation that I am that. I'm already home. Yeah. And I have this experience of being the separate expression, and I can suffer. It's like, okay, well, if I am not suffering, then what's going on? Because it sure seems like I'm suffering. It's like, okay, well, I'm having this experience. Well, how do I not suffer then in my experience of suffering? Well, the first thing you can do is not hold so tight. And, it's the analogy of having these things that I love in my hand. Baby Huey, remember that cartoon of Baby Huey? He's like, oh no, you are my baby. I will hold you and love you, and I will pet you, and I will... And he squeezes his little baby too hard and he kills him. Well, it was a cartoon, he didn't die, but like a real baby would have died. Baby Huey get you. And that's what we do to all our little babies. We hold them so tight. You know, it's like me putting my kid to bed. You will go to bed because I love you, and you need to get rest. Shut up. You know, nuts. So these things that I do for my loved ones because I love them, and I end up attacking them, right? Like a crazy person.
You say something, Sue?
Yeah, I feel like it has something to do with control and acceptance, right? Resistance, control, and resistance.
Yeah. Well, resistance, strength. That's another. We'll get, and this is into the development of the personality, right? And steps out of the course teaching, but it all helps, I think. So resistance strengthens what you don't want, and we think it helps us. I think resisting the bad guy is going to help me, but it creates more bad guy energy, right? I have to strengthen that thing. When someone's mad, I'm like, what's your problem? Why are you being such a jerk to the mad person?
Yeah.
Does that help the mad person?
Yeah, when we're
No.
watching the...
Does that?
Oh, sorry, were you going to say something else, Sue?
Well, I'm trying to like connect it back because so when I was at I go to that, I think I told you about that tea ceremony that I started going to, the meditation, the silent tea meditation thing. When I'm doing that or any sort of like when emotions come up, I have a tendency to just like want to cry, right? And I don't want to. I don't want to be the weirdo that's crying. And
I cry all the time.
I was going to say, am I fucking weird? Sorry, language.
I'm a crybaby. Enter the club.
All the time. I cannot keep my lashes on.
Really?
Not the lashes.
Yeah. You know I cry all the... I thought you knew I cry all the time, Sue. I'm a good crier.
Oh.
Anyway, moving
Yeah.
on.
So, resisting crying.
Yeah, and I feel like that has something to do with not seeing the divine order, right? Like, it doesn't feel like I'm...
Well, resisting is a way of creating a barrier that separates you. And the reason you want to create a barrier is because you're protecting yourself. And the reason you're protecting yourself is because you think there's something to protect. And you think there's an offender that can offend and hurt. And so if you resist crying, it's just false thinking. That's all. It's like, oh, this is bad in some way, not helpful. But is there any function the body has to do that is bad?
But also, if you saw somebody else crying, you wouldn't think they're a weirdo. Right?
Probably
Would
not.
you? Do you think I'm a weirdo? Sue?
Weirdo.
Do you think it's weird when people cry?
Yeah, and maybe it's your judgment. So that's fine. Any
Oh, when I see people
judgment,
cry, I'm like, oh.
any judgment you have on yourself is a judgment that you have on others. It can't help be both.
I feel like if Sue saw somebody cry, she'd be like empathetic.
Yeah.
You are.
That is interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Like, why is it okay? Like, why would I feel like, oh, they're processing when somebody else is doing it, but then when I want to do it, I'm like, don't do it.
So just like imagine yourself looking at yourself. Like imagine if you see somebody like looking over at you, be like, oh, that's me looking at me, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like maybe you could do that.
Yeah, you could do that. Or you can just realize it's just the body doing what it does.
I don't even recognize when you cry when you're crying. You go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, you're crying. Are you okay? Because you're so quiet about it.
Silent crier.
Yeah.
Yeah, crying's like a involuntary response often. If you can cry on key, that's like people think, wow, that's incredible.
It's like psycho.
How do you do that? Yeah, and it can be psycho. So, but your body just does it, and so if your body just does it, like It's like, well, it's just doing something. I don't know. There's a bunch of physical stuff the physical world program has that it just does it. And one of those things is crying. Like there's emotional energy built up, allergies and issues, and like body issues and ulcers and all kinds of stuff that have to do with pent up emotional energy that we have suppressed.
Yeah.
So suppressing the body's functions and what it wants to do is not a good idea for the body.
Interesting.
Just let it do what it does. And if you have to be spiritual and you like want to freak out every once in a while, well, that's not good for the body because you're stuffing it down, because now we have this judgment of who you should be and how the body should act. And the reason is you think you're the body, but you're not. And so if I'm like, well, I'm not the body, what am I? I'm spirit having this body experience. I'm infinite love having the experience of separation. Wow, what an adventure. Look at the body. It's crying right now. I wonder what that's about. And sometimes it's about nothing, and sometimes you're like, wow, maybe it's this recognition of something that's just beautiful. Or maybe it's a release of something I've suppressed for so long. Or maybe it's
That's what I tell the kids.
my body's reaction to sorrow. Or, I mean, it could be a lot of different things. But tears usually signify a meaningful experience. It gets past. It's past the facade that we put out for others to have. That if they reject it, it doesn't hurt us. We have this separate personality that we have invented that we give to others, and if they reject it or make fun of it or treat it in any way that is unbecoming to us, that personality, it's like, well, okay, that's fine. But there's a part of us that is completely more authentic, and in the Course's view, it's still not us, but it's at least more authentic to all our sincere desires and sincere thinking. And if that's rejected, it's way more painful. And so when things completely resonate purely without any judgment that we can think, often we cry. That's what I do anyway. Like I'm in a spiritual thing, someone expressed something beautiful or cherishing, or watching America's Got Talent and someone expresses their gift and the crowd applauses and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think anybody would ever cherish this thing that I love so much that I'm scared to tell anybody about. Those moments I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then Carolyn makes fun of me. And then I'm like, not in front of 50 of my closest friends, you're making fun of me. Inside joke.
I love it.
Anyway, don't hold back.
Yeah.
You cry, baby.
I think I'm starting to realize that now. Like, definitely this has helped me with letting go of a lot of things. So many. Like the other day I saw my cell phone bill was like $586. And normally I'd be like, oh my God, what do I do? Freaking out, calling Jared, you need to go to Verizon right now. Bill is this. You can't call. You have to go in. You have to talk to somebody.
Do not use that phone.
Yeah. I can't go because if I go, I'm going to freak out and yell at somebody. So you have to go.
Yeah. That's good.
And then the other day, I called him and I was like, hey, babe, the bill's like double what it used to be. More than double.
That's not coming from my house, is it?
I don't know. I thought maybe it was. You have an alarm going off?
Here, 1 second.
I forgot what it was saying.
All right.
Oh, the Verizon bill, yeah.
Verizon bill, yeah.
So yeah, I don't freak out anymore. I just said he was actually freaking out for me because that's what he does. He knows I'm gonna freak out, so he freaks out for me.
Oh, that's really nice of him.
It is, yeah. And I go, hey babe, it's okay. I'm gonna go to Wild Rivers or the beach or wherever we were going with the kids. And I was like, we'll deal with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this isn't a real phone bill.
Yeah.
I'm not in a real body.
Yeah, it's fine. All I can do is kill our bodies. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
I don't know why, but like it's just I see things different now.
Yeah.
And I think he was like pleasantly shocked because as soon as I was like, it's fine, he's like, okay. Because he started freaking out.
Well, there's an interesting dynamic with man and woman, the archetypes.
Yeah.
Certainly applies to marriage, but the archetype of the woman is I'm in a world where I would love to bear children. It's within me to do that. However, I'm going to have these fragile beings that I'm not going to be really able to provide for ourselves in a lot of ways because I have to spend so much time raising these little beings. And so I need a partner, the one that's going to help me make the kid, to do that part. And so this woman is attracted to people who can protect and provide. But often the best people that can protect are monsters. And so the tamed monster becomes like the most popular women porn. And so like and women porn is mostly narrative based versus man porn is mostly visual based.
Yeah.
And so you have all of these women novels, right? The women porn that is just beast of a man that is like bringing a rose. You know, it's like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. But the problem is the man all the while wants the woman to be happy. Like, I just want you to be happy. But so the woman is pushing back and saying, I want you to protect me and be, but I also want you to do what I want. And then the man's like, okay, I'll do what you want. Now that so the chase is over and now we got each other. And then if the man does what you want too quick, or the woman archetype too quick, then it's like, well, I'm pushing you around now. This little girl is pushing you around. How are you supposed to protect me from the real wild animals out there? Because you're a freaking pushover. Pussy. Inside story. And so then, then the guy's like, what the heck do you want from me? Do you want me to do this or you not? It's like, I want you to be a man. Like, or whatever it is, right? And so it's like this internal war that happens with these archetypes that battle each other.
So messed up.
And so all the while, it's really an identification with this biological archetype that our bodies do. Our bodies literally take over. Like the man body literally reacts chemically to a particular shape of a woman. I don't know, do you guys ever see that beauty documentary, and it talked about just proportions, like the proportions of a woman make the man body chemistry change, and it's actually a mathematical equation of waist size to hip size to the breast, not the actual cup, but like the shape of the woman, like that shape,
like an hourglass,
yeah,
or a pear, or...
that. And then there's a particular ratio. It's like 3 to 8, or I don't remember what it was, but it's a number. It's a math number. It's crazy, and like that is beauty. And how small or big the woman doesn't matter, as long as it has that ratio. It's considered beautiful, and it triggers the anatomy of a man.
Super overweight, as long as my boobs are bigger.
That's right. Bigger boobs, bigger butt. And it's the butt to the waist is the main one.
Cool.
And but then symmetry, symmetry is another. Anyway.
Yeah.
All of these things, if you know them, if you know like, oh, this is just my body, right? Like, try to get a man to not be looking around at a topless beach. Take him to a topless beach and have the man not look, and then like the woman be all pissed at it.
Yeah.
Even a regular beach, right? In our Southern California, where girls are wearing almost nothing.
Yeah.
And then the girl's mad that the guy's looking. It's like this, the chemistry in the man is changing. It's like fring, fring, fring. It's like firing.
Yeah, Jerry gets so uncomfortable when like at Wild Rivers, even where it's like a family place and the girls have like the thong.
Oh yeah.
Bikinis, and he's like, why?
It's terrifying.
And I'm like,
it's terrifying as a man, especially when you don't want that to happen and it's still happening.
I don't get mad. I know it's like that happens, but it makes him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to get caught by anybody else staring.
Oh yeah. For sure. Well, and there's probably an added added craziness that he has little girls. Like that would be
Oh yeah, for sure.
wild to have a little girl, and
that's
you know
exactly-
how guys think, and
Exactly
you're
what
like,
he
this
says.
is terrifying.
Yeah, and I go, don't worry, our kids won't wear that. They're scared to get even undressed in front of.
I know, that's good. It's like, all right, here's your bathing suits. That's a trash bag, Mom. You're like, yes,
My
it
kids are
is.
surprisingly conservative. It's crazy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So all of these things are happening, and if we identify with the body, you will be out of your mind crazy. I mean, just that alone makes you out of your mind crazy. So if you're not your body, well, you could at least realize that you're not your body. I mean, you can show people that even if they don't have any spiritual inclination. You're like, okay, well, spit in this cup until it's full of spit, and I'll drink it. Now, most people would be like, oh, that's disgusting, which that is disgusting. I think that would be gross. But that came from you. So wasn't that you? So that's not you? You're not going to put you into you? You have a problem with that? Yes, I have a problem with that. That's disgusting. Okay, so that's not you. Well, that's not me, but I'm me. Okay, well, what's you? Can I cut off your finger and I put that on the table? Now this finger on the table you? Well, no, that's not me. Well, can I cut off your arm? If you don't have an arm, are you still you? Yeah, I'm still me. Well, how much can I cut away from your body and you still be you? Well, I think you can cut everything away except my head. So if you're just a head and the rest of your body's cut off, and we can keep you alive, are you still you? It's like, yeah, well, I am my brain. It's like, well, the truth is you're none of it, and that life is not in the brain. Life's not in the brain, and reason and creativity is not in the brain either. And that's like science they still don't say that, I don't think. But creativity and reason and life is actually in consciousness, and consciousness is not in the body. It's not in the brain. The body is in consciousness. It's reversed.
Yep, I got that. I get it. I know what you're saying.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
What do you think, Sue? Sue's over it.
Yeah,
He's just messing with you.
Just kidding.
It's because she has to unmute herself to
yeah.
talk.
No.
yeah,
No need to say anything.
yeah.
Okay, moving on then. 38. The Holy Spirit is the mechanism of miracles. Yeah. The reason why the Holy Spirit's a mechanism of miracle is it is a miracle to have even the desire to release my judgments of the world, or to realize that I only see judgments, to realize that I only see my story. That's like such a weird, crazy thought to think that could possibly be true, that either you have to be completely insane, it's possible, or you have to have like some out of this world thing that's intervening for you. And that is what the Holy Spirit is.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that you could desire something different than what seems like the world gives. So the Holy Spirit is the mechanism.
Do you know so the Holy Spirit was around before Jesus?
So what it is, according to the Course, is a Course.
Okay. So I thought the Holy Spirit was just the ghost of Jesus.
The ghost of Jesus passed. The Christmas tale. So the Holy Spirit
Yes.
is, the Course says the Holy Spirit is the memory of God.
Jesus.
Jesus, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So Jesus was a guy who fully remembered who he was.
Oh, yeah.
So-
yes, you're right. He's just like us.
So Jesus says, I'm just like you. I'm just further along in my understanding.
So is the Holy Spirit Christian thinking?
Holy Spirit is a Christian word. Christianity is a dualistic thought system.
Yeah, okay.
That leads you.
Got it.
It points to God, but it's wonderful. It's just, if you have a finger pointed to the moon, the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon. It's just the pointer, go that way.
Got it.
So Christianity is the finger, and God is the moon, and Christianity is pointing the way. It's trying to say this is the way to God. But that's what all religions are, is like, this is the way to God, this is the way to freedom, this is the way. And if you accept the finger as the result, that's religion. It's like, this is the things you have to do. You have to look this way, you have to be this way, you have to give up these things, you have to take on these things, and it becomes ritualistic, religious. And you miss the point. And the point is the out of the worldness. It's like all these tools that are supposed to help you get out of the world, which includes the Course in Miracles, right? It's like, you're not a body. People that study the Course in Miracles show up to a family who they just lost a loved one, and like, why are you mourning?
Yeah.
We're not a body. Stop mourning. It's like, that's not helpful. Not helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Did you hear that one lady on the news that was talking like that? She like lost her daughter, and she was talking like, she stood there. Oh, homie. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And she was like, no, she's here. She's just, her body's not here, or something like that. And she was like on the news, and everyone, it was like a whole thing.
And they're like, cuckoo.
Yeah. And I was like, I get her.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is crazy to the world. But
the way she was talking, that was kind of like this.
And I was like, oh yeah. Well, definitely cuckoo. So be careful with how you talk to people. But you could not be careful too. It's just be curious about what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you could be insulting, I think, if you're not careful, and then
you could totally be insulting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it could come off the wrong way.
Be
and then
gentle. Yeah. Of course, says if you were to wake up suddenly, it would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. So try not to terrify anybody. So the Holy Spirit is the mechanism of miracles. He, using male pronoun, by the way, but it's just language, using Shakespearean language. He recognizes both God's creation and your illusion. So we're both creating God's creations, your illusions. My illusions are the world that I see. He separates the true from the false, and by his ability to perceive totality rather than selectively. Selectively.
We both said that wrong.
Selectivity. Rather than selectively. And, Holy Spirit is the memory of God, the voice in the dream. Remember the story of, hello, wake up, it's okay. So we hear the voice of God in the dream. God's actually not in the dream, but we can start to hear the voice of God calling us out back home, and then if we were to wake up, we'd be sitting with God the whole time, and there would be no time had passed. We hadn't left. We had never been separate. 39, the miracle dissolves error because the Holy Spirit identifies error as false or unreal. This is the same as saying that by perceiving light, darkness automatically disappears.
I do think a lot of the things that I'm doing less are bad, because I used to be like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or why did I do that? I don't do that anymore. I just go, oh well.
Yeah. Like in the world of action reaction. Yeah. You can just see it as that. So there's no more bad and good. It's just action reaction. Yeah. That's the world we're in. Okay. Like, okay, is this helpful? Is this creating an action reaction flow that I like? Are you looking at Edward?
I wonder if he woke up Oliver, because I felt like he was going upstairs. Oh my God! Look!
Can't turn that far. So action reaction, is this helpful? Do I like this? And if not, you let it go, and you don't have to burden yourself with the I'm bad and God hates me and I don't want to go to hell, so I don't want to do this. I'm going to be good. Fire insurance. Remember, I grew up when I was in high school. They had this traveling performance. It was a play, and they called it Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames. And it was a show that basically it would be these vignettes. Is that what you call little tiny plays in the play. Like each scene was its own little play, and so each one would show either someone that was doing something and would die and go to heaven. You know, they would die, and then the angels would show up like, "Oh, welcome to heaven, all is well." And then the next vignette would be someone would die, and then it like the stage would be flooded with red light, and you'd hear like, "Ha ha ha ha," like this horrible laughing in the back, and then the devil would show up and drag them to hell. And so you get die, go to heaven, die, go to hell, die, go to heaven, die, go to hell, a bunch of those. And then, you know, the purpose of the show is to scare the hell out of you, right? Yeah. And it's like, well, that's one way to do it. Or you can realize that there's no way you can be separate. Like hell itself is made of God stuff. All things are God. You can't not have creation without God stuff. So to think you could ever be separate from God is a miscreation. It's one of my miscreations. Now, can I experience it? Of course, I can experience anything I want. However, it's certainly not necessary. All right, 7:01. We good?
Yeah.
We good, Sue?
Yeah, we're good.
We are
I
complete.
can't help but feel like disappointed in myself, though. It's just like, it really does seem like a cycle where, like, I seem to be doing really good about the accepting, and then it's like a reverting. It goes back even worse, almost. It seems like.
But don't you feel like being in the book right now is allowing us to continuously stay in the Word, as they would say, like in my Bible study group, like where you're constantly thinking, having that mind, that space where you're
absolutely.
Yeah,
you don't revert.
for sure.
Well,
so I'm definitely not like, I am seeing improvement.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
And then,
your desire for improvement is a desire for a particular thing to be happening, which is also a part of the same game that keeps us miserable.
Release, let go.
Disappointment in myself that I should be doing something different, or disappointment that the personality should be acting different. Yeah.
How about this?
Is all magic.
Is there an example of recently where you were disappointed in yourself?
it just, like in that tea ceremony thing, like, it's like, but I mean, and then as I'm saying this too, a part of me is also like, well, it's because my sun and moon are on opposite signs. They're like literally opposite each other. So it's I'm talking astrology again, right? Yeah. So so that's like the hardest to balance with your, and not to mention my sun is in Aries. Aries, like that's like the...
Okay, but let me ask you this. If you didn't know any of that, would you know that it was hard, and would you be focusing on the fact that it's hard?
I was suffering my whole life and not understanding why. Like, why do I feel like there's this, like, why do I feel this pull to do this one thing? And then like, even when it goes exactly as I had planned, on the inside, I'm just like dying inside, and I just don't understand why. And then learning astrology has helped me to at least know now why. There is an explanation why. Yeah. Like, you were born in a full moon. You were born with your sun in Aries and your moon in Libra. You can't, like, your inner and outer world cannot be more opposite from that. Right,
you are destined to be doomed.
But like, don't you think...
And that's exactly why I don't want, like, I hold myself back from, because I know you weren't being offensive, then like on the inside, like when I'm like having that kind of like a passionate response, and then somebody perceives me as being like, oh, you're so intense right now, like that makes me feel like, oh, no, I know you're not, like,
I can tell it upsets you, I guess is what I was trying to say.
And I don't want to be upset by that.
I know you don't.
Because I know you were just making light of it, making an observation, like making me feel seen. Like a lot of people would have been like, oh, they feel so seen. Like, yeah, this is very passionate. Like, I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
for me on the inside, and that is what I was like doing, and then on the inside it's just, and it's like this complete opposite, and and it's just, yeah.
well, and your perspective of what she was doing could be positive or negative, right? Because my perception was not intense negative. My perception was like there's more energy. Like as you were talking, I was like,
right.
it didn't even seem weird, but you could tell, like the pace and intensity went up. So I was more like, wow, what is she saying? That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, I'm trying to take it in because it's more intense and there's more information in a small amount of time. There's none of the other stuff like, whoa, what's up with you? Too intense.
No, yeah, and I wasn't thinking that.
And she was just playing. That's true.
But also, I was thinking like, like I said before, this really does affect you, because I know when I get intense, it's because I know that it's something that I like you said, feel passionate about, and so yeah, that's hard. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you if I did.
No, I know you didn't.
Well, why is this happening too? That's a good question. And
yeah.
The ego. Here's one why. The ego needs us to suffer. Because if we do not suffer, if we do not strive in a suffering sort of way, we will cease to exist. The thing we are the most terrified, and this is also a course thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not true. Well, the personality is afraid to die. The thing that the ego is most terrified, which the ego is bigger than any one of us. The ego is actually there's one ego, and that is the idea that I can be separate, and that one ego divided infinitely. And now each of us are a small reflection of that in what we call the personality. But the thing that the ego is the most terrified of is love. Because love is all-consuming and is one. And if I were to lose all of my uniqueness and give it all up, if I were to lose all of my judgments in different aspects of myself, I would cease to be. And above all else, I want to keep me alive. Right? I don't want to be annihilated. So I think. And so what happens is, since I can't really be real, I want to be a real boy, Pinocchio. I can't really be real, then the next best thing, since I don't want to be annihilated, is I keep the different ideas of separation alive. And the only way to keep the ideas of separation alive is I create suffering, because only the real can suffer, right? Only the body can suffer. Only these aspects can suffer. Only the personality can be tormented. And so if I'm tormented and if I suffer in different ways, I must be real. And that's the game the personality plays. And so you find yourself, no matter how you develop, if you're trying to develop the personality, there's always a level of suffering that has to be there, because you have to stay real. But that's an ego game. And it's not a bad thing, once again. It's just the game we are to be a separate entity. That's what you have to be, because you're separate from ultimate love, which is all-encompassing. Can't be a separation from it, so you have to make up a story. So it's actually a really wonderful thing to be aware of that, and without changing anything, just be aware of that dynamic, which sounds like you're becoming more and more aware of it, for sure.
For sure, yeah. Well, I think what I was saying was like, Sue, if you don't mind, I was kind of saying like, it was like the awareness of it is great, and I feel like that gets us to the next whatever point of release. But I feel like what we were saying, being attached to that like awareness of it is what's hard to release sometimes, because I feel like, you know what I mean? I guess what I was saying is like, because you know now that your sign, it's opposite, like it can help you get through it, but I feel like it could also like help you grow more attached to that, you know, that you like solidifying, like, oh, it's opposite, so it's hard, it's opposite, so it's hard, it's opposite, so it's hard. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. I mean, I understand in my head. It's hard to understand, like,
Yeah.
And that is the biggest challenge. Like, no matter where your placements are, it's like they say that that's the shortest and the longest distance, right, between the head and the heart.
Yeah. I think if we say it's hard, then it is hard. I think if we say it's easy.
Well, that's easy for you to say because your sun and moon are in our.
Oh my gosh, lucky.
I know, I'm so fucking lucky.
Sun, ascendant, and moon are trine. Well, sun and ascendant are in the same sign, and then you have your moon that's trine. So,
oh my god,
easy for you to say.
It is easy. For
Can I say?
She's such a show off.
Can I say something though? Between, I don't know if you want to pause it for this.
Oh sure.